Move next to just down the not the river necessarily, but just down the road. Texas is I guess on a neutral, not really visiting Oklahoma, though I think Oklahoma listed as a home team gets to wear their crimson in this matchup. Never a great idea to welcome in Texas wearing the Stormtrooper colors. But wow, Texas a 14 and a half point favorite. We knew it would be big. I'm not sure I've seen it this large in my life. That's what she said. But I think Texas in my I mean, 3-1 against Oklahoma when I was in school, 4 years of Colt McCoy. We were never even close to this price. I think we're underdogs to Adrian Peterson my freshman year. Unfortunately, that is dating yours truly. But this is a gigantic price. We did see big spreads, and including a 49 to nothing shutout victory 2 seasons ago. I want to say Texas was a 9.5 point favorite in that matchup, and then we're -5 last year against Oklahoma, and we're pretty much bossed around by an Oklahoma defensive line, which I don't know if that was just a career day or how to really explain that, but that's certainly the strength of Oklahoma is the Brett Venables defensive coordinator making the most millions of dollars for a DC, and then finally took a head coaching job and I think took a pay cut. Not really, but sort of. It felt like it at the time. But OU getting 14 and a half certainly explains their struggles so far this season. Texas has looked good, replaced the quarterback with almost no real issue. I guess it helps that he comes from a decent bloodline. And total here is 50 on this one. So what are we thinking about the Red River, as we call it now, the river that separates Oklahoma and Texas?
What happened in that 49 nothing game when both teams were on? What happened in that game? I don't
Uh,
even remember that.
well, the Oklahoma, I think, was starting a blockbuster employee at quarterback. It was like a third stringer. And I was surprised initially because OU essentially went for it on every fourth down. I guess their kicker was hurt or not trusted or something like that. And it seemed like a weird, very aggressive move early. And then it seemed like it was something that they were going to do the whole game. So I feel like that was because of personnel issues. Texas got off to a good start, and I feel like what Oklahoma usually does in this game, it's usually pretty hot, which it should be again. Though Texas and OU should be pretty used to that so far this season, but they usually take a lead. In my unfortunate experiences, they take a lead and then they just run these counter trays for the rest of the game. And Texas gets gassed. The defensive line doesn't have enough bodies to rotate in. And then, unfortunately, Texas is unable to come back from a deficit. Clearly, as 14 and a half point favorites, it's a very different number with basically a -600 favorite. I'm not sure I've seen that with Texas ever. It feels nice, I got to say, but I do, from my perspective, I'm a little concerned that it's not going to be this easy.
Well, I have seen the spread this high. In fact, it happened in 2015. I was at the game.
Uh,
Number 10, Oklahoma, led by possible MVP candidate this year, Baker Mayfield, was taking on Texas, and you guys were starting some dual threat guy that could only run at quarterback.
Tyrone
And
swoops, baby.
yeah, I think it was 18 and a half. And
Tight
Texas went
end.
outright. They
Yes.
carried Charlie Strong off the field, and that was the last time I ever saw Charlie Strong before he washed up at USF, I think the next year. So I have seen the spread this high.
Not from a Texas favored, is my point.
Got
Right.
it.
Okay.
Got it. But anyway, the last time besides that 49 nothing aberration, the last time a game was played within 14 points was 2013, Texas 36, Oklahoma 12. I think it really speaks to competitiveness. Obviously, you are the historian. I will default to you. But I think this is a lot of points, especially with, I don't know if Ewers is going to play. It sounds like he is going to play. He's coming off 2 weeks of rust, and I know he can throw Arch in there, but he is a freshman. Oklahoma's not looked great this year, but again, to be what's the word?
Blunt,
No, not blunt.
conservative, pragmatic,
At the risk of sounding
like a homer.
when you say something that like
Go.
cliche, god damn it, cliche.
Did you get LASIK or did you get whatever they call it at Shutter Island? A
Maybe
lobotomy?
those lasers went a little too deep. At the risk of sounding cliche, you can throw the record books out when these two teams play. Give me Oklahoma and the points.
at the risk of using a cliche and sounding like a cliche, I will use a cliche. I don't blame you for taking 14 and a half. I mean, the group chats that I'm in are always talking Oklahoma. As sad as it is to say, it's always seems to be a topic of conversation. OU really sent away a pretty good quarterback for the second coming of Jason White or Jason White's Achilles or ACLs or whatever they were. And I just haven't really seen much from Oklahoma's offense so far this season. I do think this game will be closer. I think that's what you're trying to get to with historically that there's this game does generally play tight. Usually that's Texas as an underdog, basically ripping our at least my side of the stadium's hearts out because we don't expect much. Then it's close. We get a little bit of hope, and then it's the hope that kills you. I think Texas wins this game, but 14 and a half feels like too much. So I like your side there. I'll go under 50, just not really respecting a lot of offense from the Oklahoma side. And I think there's a very good chance that if Texas takes the lead, unfortunately, that sounds like a conservative call from Steve Sarkisian. 8-win Esteban, as he's been nicknamed in the past, finally got off over that hump for Austin last year. But we'll see what happens this game. It's
Eight
going to be
win Esteban.
8-win Esteban, like a version of Steven. It's right that it starts with the same
Uh,
letter as eight. Yeah.
C.
Si, senor. And even though I'm pretty sure he's Armenian, not any sort of Spanish. But that's I didn't come up with it. I think that's a forum, Texas forums thing.